This is madness. I feel like C-3PO said that once or something. I don't know. It just felt good to say. So I'm glad you're here. It's craziness, but also madness because it's a very, very eldritch, scary 1920s adventure. It has a title. It's Roll to One. I'm Jaden Arnold, and without further ado, let's get ready for tonight's episode of Whispers of Old Harbor. After diving to investigate the hatch, the group found a sigil on a nearby wall. Charlie used magic to open a gateway through the wall, and a tentacled creature with an endless maw of teeth they've seen before, now called One of Many Mouths, it emerged. We discovered that there is a larger conspiracy even within the Eldritch Abominations, as you discovered some sort of entity, large and menacing beyond even these creatures. However, this creature emerged and injured Sammy, who was rushed to the hospital with his people, as well as Ray, the strange sidekick that I forgot to mention. Meanwhile, the rest of the group ventured through the portal into the unknown as they climbed down, their feet wet, maybe their bottom ends as they swim, treading water. It's wet, it's sewagey, it's gross, and algae intense. However, the only thing that will survive is probably you, but maybe not your sense of smell. As you go through this nasty, cobbled-filled space, 2 flashlights are out. I believe it's you, Catherine, and you, Charlie. C and C together at last, aiming their flashlights along the walls. Now, as you travel through the walls, Catherine, what leads you to believe that this, I guess, what makes this corridor feel impossible?
Impossible to
exist.
What makes this space feel impossible?
I'd say the way it was built, and what materials, what kind of rock it is. Maybe it's not local or somewhere way far away. I would say it's nothing that she's seen.
So it's not like limestone. It's
No.
not. It's like maybe obsidian. Maybe it's blackened and reflective. Swallowed my own spit.
The monster's trying to kill
Yeah,
the
I'm dying. No, it's
Are you unstable?
It's the smell.
Oh no, he's
I'm
gone
dying.
mad.
It's probably volcanic. Strange. It's
Interesting.
volcanic rock. But yes, that's a good reason why it feels impossible. Charlie, paint the scene with me as well. Why does this space? What about this space makes it immediately feel like it's religious?
The fact that as we're walking through and we're shining along our lights along the walls, it hits cuts in the wall. And as we examine them, the cuts form into shapes, almost like pictographs, but not of anything that we can really discern. It's larger than life images of just things that tie into the impossibility of it, things that of that time would not even be imaginable.
Okay. And Harry, you see within the sort of underwater dungeon space. What about this leads you to believe that it was previously submerged?
Well, there's going to be water just dripping from the ceiling. I mean, and the walls are going to be slick and wet. I mean, if it is obsidian, then with the lights, we're going to get a lot of kind of reflecting of the light. Also, there's going to be algae and little bits of seaweed here and there that if it was submerged, it would kind of be just floating in the water kind of up, as you often see seaweed and algae do, but since there is no water in it at the moment, it's just kind of aligned limply against the ground or the sides or hanging from the ceiling.
Awesome. So sort of, if you had a machete, you'd be chopping through them. But instead, you're sort of just pushing through the seaweed that hangs from the ceiling. Kind of like curtains, ropes. And you push through this space. And anyone who would be watching would almost see as you sort of swim through them. Now, you're winding, you're moving, you're going different directions. However, you begin to see sigils on the wall that remind you of the initial one that you went in. You see about a certain depth in that it goes downward. And you look down and you see the pipe that you maybe had discovered earlier. Now, as you pass through this threshold, it sort of illuminates green down the pipe due to the reflectiveness of the algae and all this strange thing. And you remember seeing light before. And then just as you finish walking past, you step over this kind of hole, right? You hear coming from down the pipe. And then you continue to pass.
Interesting. Is this a bioluminescent algae?
No.
No, sorry, I'm asking the DM.
Yeah.
Is the light coming from the algae or no?
It was reflecting off of the greenish pipe
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
due to the algae, but not
Yeah.
bioluminescent.
Okay.
You said we hear a clicking noise?
Mhm.
Charlie just kind of shakes his head and goes, time loops, as we keep walking.
What?
Do you hear that clicking sound?
Yeah.
That's the auger we were using to crank you back up.
So,
We've circled back in time.
how does that work?
I'm sure the Fatty Eye have a pretty good idea.
So if you recall, you saw a green light.
I remember. I'm Harry because he still is wrapping his mind around.
So that light
magic.
that you told us you saw was Catherine and I's flashlights.
Sorry.
Did that just hit you?
Yeah, I was not following.
Yeah.
Whoosh. Got it. I'm here now.
Well, so
Interesting. Okay. Definitely not the weirdest thing I've seen recently. Well, let's not fall down the pipe and continue forward.
sounds good to me.
So by your understanding, you understand now that you are going towards the ocean. Right? So as far as your
Yeah.
dungeoneering would allow you to understand,
Yeah.
going
Right.
towards the ocean. So go ahead and read a bad situation. Whoever wants to lead that.
I think I would probably be in the lead because I will have the spear and my pistol. I probably would have given one of these to Sammy's.
Tommy gun?
Yeah, the Tommy gun. You guys can figure out who is
Probably
right
not
behind
me.
me.
Probably not you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie will take it then.
So then who's right behind me? Just so that we know, kind of.
Put Catherine in the middle.
Oh, what a chivalrous man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll be in the lead. Catherine will be shining her light kind of around me to kind of help me see the way, and I am leading the way with the spear, and then I also have my pistol in my pocket. All right, so you said read a bad situation.
Yeah, you begin to hear like from like down the hallway.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see, read bad situations plus sharp, right?
I can't
plus,
make that like.
Yeah.
I can't do it. There you go. That's what you hear down the hallway.
Oh, impressive.
Nice,
I
that was
cannot
cool.
do that. That would be a 9. So read a bad situation. 9.
One. Hold one.
Yes, hold 1. Okay.
Something in his gut, his gumshoe gut, is telling him that this is a bad situation.
There's only one way in. We can't really see any way out because we're just going forward. What are the dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's the most fun? So I guess what are the dangers we have not noticed?
Okay. The dangers you have not noticed is that although the runes on the wall are there, Charlie begins to sort of be able to read them as he's tuned in to the Eldritch. These sigils begin to change and things. You sort of hear his muttering as he goes closer and closer. Now, Charlie did not roll to read a bad situation, so he's not aware of this. You did. You understand. You hear him sort of speak, and he warns you of the potential dangers. You hear, let me read this real quick. Okay, so you kind of hear that, like, he says, like, oh, it's a temple. This is a temple. This is where they store the dead. This is where it lies. This is where they keep the artifact. This is where they protect what's at the top of the spire.
And Harry's just like, oh gosh, darn it.
So he sort of mutters that there's this is a temple, right?
Yeah.
Catherine, you're educated, well educated. You're in school now. What about you? What about this scenario reminds you of Egyptian pharaohs? Like a pyramid. What reminds you of what about this space leads you to understand that you're in something similar?
I would say the way it's shaped, like the tunnel, and then with the word
Under the walls?
inscriptions
Oh,
or
the runes.
Similar to
runes.
hieroglyphs.
Yes,
Hieroglyphic-ish?
thank you. They would almost compare as to like they're reading as
A story.
a story
Oh, nice.
on both sides.
Okay. So as you pass them with your flashlights, imagine that sort of the light glows green through the cracks and illuminates these symbols as you sort of walk past. Wherever there is not light. Now, it's not bioluminescent, but it is power, it is magic, it is energy. And that is what Charlie's reading there from the back. He's sort of processing it as it sort of leaves your vision. He's feeling it. He's in tune with what's going on. So you have that understanding. Do you share that understanding?
Yeah, I think I'd look at Charlie and be like, "Do you know what these are saying?" And points to the wall, the inscriptions.
Charlie's become made aware. He's been made aware of his mutterings.
Yeah, I just kind of break away and I go, have I been reading them?
You're saying temple?
So,
Yeah.
Something about the dead
Yeah.
bodies. Are you even realizing
The
you're saying
undead?
this? Are you processing all of this?
I mean, would Charlie retain that he had what he had read
Muttered.
without realizing that he was reading them?
Sure,
or is
you
it-
can know. I mean, I
Okay.
think they can tell you what
Yeah.
you said.
I would look. Charlie looks around and goes, "Well, it definitely fits the layout." With spiritualism, they did have some like fanaticism of Egyptology at the time because they believed in using like mummy parts for medicine and different things like that. So
This
Yeah.
does fall closer into your purview.
yeah. So having been revealed what he was muttering, Charlie begins to take a closer look and trying to get a better understanding of what he is looking at, and try and piece together what this spire is and what the spire is that it is referencing to, because he's assuming that the artifact is the lantern.
Sure. So Charlie, I have a fun question for you.
Yes.
You're Charlie, my bad. Harry.
Oh,
my bad. Thank you, thank you.
We did it
I was about to
again.
say,
Thank you. It's the first time I've done it.
you were looking at me. Right? You said,
So Harry,
we have too many E's.
Yeah, I
in
know.
our names.
Harry,
Charlie, Sammy, Harry.
Ray, E.
Could be Kathy, but
So when you hear him sort of speaking like that,
Yes.
you're not like particularly into the Egyptology and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like it's not a thing for you, but you did sort of, you're beginning to process the timey-wimey stuff. And you've now spoken to, a Thaddeus and all those things. Now you're sort of beginning to understand it. Because you have the lowest weird, you are privy to this information.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about it in terms of the occult. You're thinking about it in terms of science. You're a science man, right? You're
Yeah.
you're like, no, history would tell us that everywhere that it is a desert likely used to be covered in water.
Mm-hmm.
And that processes your mind. And then it becomes all too real that you're in a temple similar to that used to be submerged, recently submerged. And the time stuff kind of factors in, the Egyptology aspect of this space. Something about a spire, that doesn't really ring in your mind. You're not able to
Right.
connect those dots. But you're able to process that maybe you are in a pyramid.
And then
Just when in a
Yeah.
pyramid.
We're in Atlantis. Aliens.
okay. Like, you got. Is it possible that we're in some sort of pyramid? Whether it's, I mean, if we can mess with time, can we mess with space? Could we be in a Egypt or Egyptian colony pyramid? I mean, I just based on
You're going down. You're going inward. You're going
Yeah.
to the center.
yeah, and I assume we're talking quietly because even with all of the seaweed and algae and stuff, our voices are gonna echo. I mean, there's no way
Yeah.
that people aren't gonna see us coming, but I'm still not gonna be shouting, just quietly as we're going forward. I mean, is it? I mean, yeah.
Well, I would almost say, seeing as we were in two different spots at the same time just a moment ago, there's potential.
You mean I was in 2 different spots?
Okay.
Catherine and I were on the dock.
But
And
was
we
the
were in the
tunnel?
tunnel.
Was the tunnel
I thought
down
that
there?
finger was something else. So from the side, it was like Catherine and I. I was like, okay.
But
Charlie, no.
were the 2 tunnels in the different time loops, or was the dock also in time loops? It's when you get to
Who
timey
knows?
when you get to timey stuff, it just goes beyond my mind.
You still have
Anywho.
2 holes, right?
Yeah. Can I? Let's see.
I'm not saying you want to use those, but I'm just saying
No.
these are
No.
dots that are
No.
big.
Yeah.
I would say that there's potential.
You're the
It would.
one that knows the weird stuff.
How does this mystery connect to the bigger picture?
That's a good question.
Yes.
That's a very good question.
Yes.
That's a
Catherine, do you carry a purse or a wallet?
Yeah.
Okay.
what woman doesn't?
So you pull it out. You pull it out.
It'd be
you're
probably
you're
more of like a
you're
small little
you're wealthy.
Oh, yeah.
bag.
You're wealthy. What is the highest bill you have on your person?
In the 20s?
Yep.
I don't think a $50 bill existed in the 20s. So
It
it'd
was
probably
like-
be like a 1,
I'd say probably maybe a 5.
5, 10, or 1, 5, 10, 20, or 100. I don't think the 50 existed.
So do you have a $100 bill? Do you have a $20 bill?
I'd
Just-
say 20. I would say in the 20s, it probably $20
So
would be a lot
You
for
pull out a
to
$20 bill?
hold. Sure.
Okay, so she pulls out a $20 bill, sort of rings it out a little bit, and she looks. And have you ever looked at your dollar before
Oh,
and seen a pyramid on your dollar, and then at the top of it has an eye
Yeah.
that is illuminating light
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
at the top of a potential, maybe a spire within the middle of your
Yes.
pyramid?
Yeah.
Well,
Illuminati.
this pyramid connects to the larger mystery in that it is the larger mystery. In that you're in one of the 3 that you will inevitably be in, should you save the world.
Wow.
But that dollar, it's screaming at you.
Spoilers.
Does that help?
Yeah.
So do you bring that up to us?
Oh, yeah.
She's got a flashlight on a dollar, just like looking at
her
it.
bill and then puts it back in her purse and just keeps walking.
Catherine, you really think about money at this time?
Yeah.
I think I would flash it and then turn it to you guys and see and like kind of be like, well, do you think this is connected to the 3 lanterns, the lights?
Honestly, at this point, you could tell me that Yeti was connected to all of this, and I'd believe you.
The Yeti's a dick. He cheats at poker.
Okay, what do you do?
I guess continue on. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna dwell too much on it, just because I'm focused on making sure that we're not gonna get attacked by another one of those are the many mouths.
With that in mind, Charlie is going to be examining the runes to see if there's any kind of similar symbology of an eye, like either pyramids or spires or any kind of like tall structure with an eye, or some kind of symbol of an eye.
So here's yes.
I know it's different from D&D.
I will. No, you're good. I'll ask you this question. The reality is also, it's like, what? The thing is that you said spire. That's your biggest, like, what in the heck is going on? Because a pyramid is not a spire. A pyramid is a pyramid.
Yeah.
But there's a little golden tip at the top of a pyramid, and it sticks out.
Yeah.
Right. So, are you familiar with the structure of like the Washington Monument?
Yeah.
Or like a similar
an obelisk.
That's the word. It's a spire.
Yeah.
Right. So an obelisk is a pyramid, but very condensed.
Yes.
Right. And so a lantern is what? A lantern is a big rod with a light at the top.
Yep.
Right. A lighthouse.
Yes.
Is a big rod with a light at the top.
Yep.
Right. And so what I'm proposing is that you're looking around looking for eyes, is that you're not looking for eyes, you're looking for, what does an eye do?
Sees.
What does an eye really do?
Observes, analyzes.
It brings
Absorbs light.
Does it absorb or does it
focus.
reflect light?
Translates light.
Right.
Only if you're an animal.
Yeah, sure. You're right.
Translates light.
But like in so many ways,
yeah.
you know, you send out a frequency of light. So as you're looking around for lights, you don't see any eyes. You see lights.
Okay.
And that's your clue in that.
Okay.
And an eye in this fashion is not meant to be an all-seeing eye. It's meant to be more of a reflection of light, a greater light, a entity of light, a being of light, a something of light.
Yes.
This lantern is going to do something. Reflect the light of something.
Right.
Right.
Somewhat tangent question. Is there a lighthouse in Harborview?
Yeah.
Okay. Just one. Okay. Anywho. Okay. So while they're kind of coming to all these conclusions, we are continuing. Yeah, we are progressing down this tunnel, and it's just one straight tunnel. There's no like offshoots or turns that we can make. Correct?
So I mean, it's one thing because it's like, I mean, there are some offshoots, but like they're like squat spaces that store spices. Because you're in a pyramid.
Yeah.
Right. But you're in a pyramid that is been recently filled with water.
Right. But so there are no tunnels that we could. Well, we have to choose to go right or left.
No.
Okay.
It's not that kind of dungeon.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
No, it's good. Well put. Help me create the space. So now before you, at the end of the hallway, you shine a doorway. A doorway where on one side is an eye, and the other side is an eye. It's the middle split of two doors, like two eyes that you'll have to push past.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you.
These big stone, sandstone, maybe volcanic rock, you're not sure. Whatever it is foreign to your understanding. And there you are at this doorway. What do you do?
Go ahead.
Oh no, I think I'm gonna look and just kind of push.
That's bold. But she said it.
She pushes the doorway open. Within this room is the center, what looks like the middle of an obelisk. It extends up towards the top, and the top of the pyramid sort of reaches. You're in a pyramidal room, right? And it reaches its apex at the top of this obelisk, so you cannot see the far wall. However, beyond to the right and left of this far wall that you can see, right? You can't see the middle of the far wall, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Right? You see a sort of painting, a massive painting that extends sort of like a movie screen, a picture of a great lighthouse on the water. However, it seems to move a bit. Sort of. You kind of hear it move in the back, and as you see kind of the waves slosh left and right of the painting, some of it drips off.
The paint drips off?
Some of the water drips off
Okay.
from
The
the painting.
Okay.
Like it's more than a painting.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Just making sure.
Structured like a Mayan temple, an Egyptian pyramid. Of course, there's no lantern in this room. However, that's what you see.
All right. Well, let's see. Harry is going to be looking around just to see if they're just looking for threats, trying to make sure that everything is.
Go ahead and investigate mystery. Yeah, everything is what?
Just make sure everything's safe and we aren't going to be attacked at this within the next 30 seconds.
Sure.
By something that
I'll
I
say
could potentially see.
it seems that the door guard was the only threat as of right now. You're not reading any bad situation. You're just investigating this room. This is like a archaeological space.
Zane, that popcorn smells really good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You said investigate a mystery. That will be an 11.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you hold 2.
Okay.
As he thinks about this, is there a light in the lighthouse in the painting?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it emanating light or emitting
Like, is
light?
it depicted as
It is not.
emitting light?
It is not emitting light, but it is depicted as emitting light.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys are like, if I was to film this, your guys' flashlights would be the only thing illuminating the room,
Yes.
Yeah.
and then of course the bounce lights that we throw in there to mimic and fill your faces. You know.
Yeah.
Right. Right. But for the movie magic, it's just flashlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What is being concealed here?
The lantern. You're looking for
Duh.
it. You're trying to find
Yeah,
it. No, what's being concealed here, as you look around the room,
no.
you see holes, one on each corner of the room, like a tube almost, that you could squeeze through if you were more serpentine.
Okay. And then, let's see. Now, what sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can it hurt it? Where did it go? What is it going to do? So I guess the only other question from the list is what happened here?
The lantern was placed in this room long ago. You look at the wall, you sort of hear Charlie's mutterings again. He sort of says, I mean, he's not muttering this time. He's a bit more coherent. But he's like, lantern is in this room.
Externally.
These hieroglyphics are telling me that the lantern is in this room.
Yeah.
We just have to figure out how to get to it.
He's externally processing.
Yeah.
I would like to be weird
Please.
and
More neutral?
and observe another place or time.
All right. Go ahead and roll to use magic. He pulls out his mirror.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, show me a time
That
of
is
them all.
That is an 8,
Okay.
so it's imperfect.
Choose your glitch.
The effect is of short duration.
Okay. You hold your mirror. You hold it up and you're looking behind you. And then you hold it over the painting. Like the mirror over the painting, and through the mirrored hole, almost a portal, you look and you see the picture is more than alive. The picture, you're looking through like a telescope through your mirror into the back wall, and you sort of see this like lighthouse. lightning and storms and all these things. And you almost think you could grab the light at the top of this lighthouse if you could just fit your arm through this portal.
Okay. It's kind of what I thought. All right. So that just confirms Charlie's thoughts, and he just kind of looks at that and goes, this is going to take some oomph to do.
Oomph.
Oomph. It's in the painting.
Oomph.
The lantern?
Yes.
Well, I left my sledgehammer in my other set of pants.
Not quite like that. I'm assuming this is just standing up in the middle of the room. It's not hanging on a wall or anything.
It's hanging on the back wall.
It's hanging on the back wall? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't mean like in behind it like a vault. I mean literally inside the painting.
Magic stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
How do you recommend getting it out?
I feel like this would be out of Charlie's. Like he knows how to summon things and send things away, but he wouldn't know how to like send himself. I don't think.
What do you do? This is, I mean, take it, run it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing? Well, hold on. You're doing stuff. You're looking
Yes.
around. You're doing their thing. What are you guys doing?
I think I'm looking around the room, probably in the center.
So I like this. Charlie's looking at the painting. You're looking around at the kind of hieroglyphs and is like, okay, well, what is this, Charlie? And Charlie's like, hold on. And he's like, I read it a second ago. It said, and he told you, right? That's what happened in that moment as you were investigating. You noticed, you're like, well, these holes in the corner. I wonder what that could mean. And then you,
I'm
looking at the center. So go ahead and roll to investigate a mystery.
Oh dear. 7
Plus sharp.
+3. So
10.
Nice. So
rolling well.
please hold 2 and tell me the questions. Strange room covered in hieroglyphics and sigils and runes and eldritch symbols. You look at the middle, and as you kind of hold your flashlight, you and clear off some more symbols written up the center.
What can it do?
What can it do? Meaning the center thing. The center obelisk may be connected to the, right, you saw on your dollar bill, right? The light of this obelisk, right? This obelisk may glow, right? What can it do? It should glow. This is the lantern, right? He's like, the lantern's in the painting. And you're like, yes, maybe, but the lantern's also, or this. This is the lantern.
Right. That's, yeah.
Okay, what do we do?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I would imagine that, like, this scenario is very, like, you're in the movie, you're looking around, you're holding the flashlights, you're doing what you just described. But at what point, do you do anything before I tick another thing down the countdown clock?
Yeah.
I'm about to be just like, put your arms in the...
No, so I'm... So,
Put your arm in the hole in the corner.
So how tall is the obelisk?
To the ceiling, I would say it's like, I don't know exactly how high that would be.
High.
Probably 25 feet.
25. Good day. That's tall.
Right? So you're at the top of a pyramid.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
Okay.
you made 8 meters.
Right, so what's funny, here's the thing. I said you're going towards the ocean,
Yeah.
you're going down, and you ended up at the top of a pyramid.
Yeah.
I guess I would turn to Charlie and be like, can you read any of these? And pointing to the center of the obelisk. Or whatever it's called.
I-
Obelisk.
Obelisk.
I imagine it's a repeat of the light is within, or whatever was written in the other areas of the pyramid.
In this case, yeah, it's very much just sort of reiterating the same, like the light is within, the light is here, the eye, the reflection of light, like all of these sort of symbologies, because this isn't quite a language as much as, I mean, hieroglyphics isn't so much a language as it is sort of an interpretation of story.
Yeah.
Now there are, it's not like, you can't say it. You can't say hieroglyphics. And I think that's kind of what's happening here, is that there's a failure between connecting the language and the overall tone and idea of what's going on here.
I think I would say, I think this is probably the light that we need to.
Okay.
So, why don't you guys just shine your flashlights at the top of the obelisk? Since, I mean, you showed me on your dollar bill that there's the eye is at the top of the pyramid, and let's just shine a light up there, see what happens.
And I'll point it.
Just point it up there.
Anything happen?
Well, I'll tell you,
Exit obelisk.
you catch the bottom edge of what looks like this in the middle here. Like you blew it off like dust, right? And it's like sandy and crunchy. As you blow it up towards the top, you kind of see like a little bit of water, kind of dripping down from the top, sort of still like kind of dripping through. Like there's a crack in the ceiling. It's dropping a little bit of moisture.
Okay. Follow me on this. Semi-aquatic creatures
Amphibians.
want the lanterns to be able to come here, or want them put out, or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Water is dripping on what Captain believes to be the lantern. Is the lantern put out because of the moisture?
I mean, possibly.
Possibly, but how do we get it out of the moisture if we're underwater?
Well, we need to have the lantern in hand first. And you said that you believe the lantern is inside of the picture.
Yes.
So how do we get it out? This is both Harry and Ross processing this question, externally thinking. It'd be nice if we had Joey here. Never mind.
Sure.
But no, he's in the
hospital.
Sammy's in the hospital, dying because he tried to save our lives.
Yep.
How inconsiderate.
You have a spear.
I do, yeah.
Just blow it?
Hold. Well, it's just a drip, right?
Yeah, it's just like a little bit of moisture.
Okay.
Yeah.
We said that the obelisk is about 24 feet tall.
It's about 25 feet tall to the
25.
ceiling. Now,
Oh,
I'll tell you.
the ceiling.
Right, so it widens. So it's like you're not seeing the top of the obelisk. The top of the obelisk penetrates the top of the pyramid.
Okay.
It is the top of the pyramid.
It is, okay, so it's
But
like
then it
almost
also
looks like a
extends
central
downward.
pyramid.
So it's
Okay.
sort of like a central pillar in this room.
Okay.
So, I don't know, I guess Harry will just climb.
I was just like,
yeah.
can we climb it?
You can try. I'll tell you that it's not like you begin to climb it. And you're like, why am I climbing?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't.
okay.
It's not. It's sort of like this would be like this
Okay.
isn't. You know what I mean? Like nothing would lead you to believe there's any mechanical aspect to this.
Yeah.
It's all magical or
Yeah.
like eldritch
It's-
solution.
Is okay. So
I still think we should stick our arms in the
It's-
holes, but
I was gonna say, with the painting, is the light depicted pointing out into the ocean and not okay?
Like you see the ray
Yeah,
into the side.
Yeah.
Like there's a little storm above the like I keep trying to iterate the storm above the lighthouse as well.
Okay. Haven't done this yet. I want to see if I can have these two help me do big magic.
oh,
Sure. What are you looking to accomplish?
I want to go into the painting and
Oh.
try and divert the light in the lighthouse towards the obelisk instead of out into the water.
Okay, so how are you going to go into the painting? Do you touch the painting?
I am going to...
I mean, I guess before you roll anything, do you touch the painting or do you?
Yes, I will touch the painting.
Okay, so you touch the painting.
Yes.
It is a painting.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's almost like it's paper
Mm-hmm.
texture.
Almost like papyrus instead of canvas.
It's like
Okay.
it's like a paper texture.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it could tear easily.
Yeah. Okay. So it talks about reflecting light, and I hand Harry the mirror, and I want him to stand back far enough away that the entire painting is in the reflection of the mirror.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
And I'm going to give Catherine both of the flashlights, and I'm going to step onto the side of we're going to step off to the side of the painting so we're not in the reflection.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be like, I look at you and I go, I'm going to start doing a ritual that I normally would for sending something away. When I start this ritual, I want you to shine both lights into the reflection of that painting.
Into the mirror?
Into the mirror, yes.
Okay.
Maybe the reflection of light represented in this. Yes.
So you're
I'm
telling me
reaching
what you
too
want.
far,
You're telling
aren't
me
I?
what you have to tell me what you want to do.
Okay. I want to go through. I want to open a portal. I want to open like Super Mario 64. I want to turn the painting into a portal and go through it.
Okay. You want to do that. I will
Yes.
tell you what you require. You ready?
Yes.
You require it to be a certain time or place.
Okay.
That is your first requirement.
Okay.
Your second requirement is that it will have a specific side effect or danger, that being flooding this room.
Okay.
Should you do what you're talking about?
Okay.
There's only one exit that we know of.
It's in the ocean. And far, I'm guessing.
I mean, I think that Ray said it was like a half. There was an outlet.
About a half a mile that way.
Yeah, about a half mile out into the ocean. So,
Which is
2,000
pretty
feet.
far.
I mean, I can swim a mile. I
Yeah.
can swim a mile. I'm not sure if everyone else can swim.
Well, I'm like, could Harry swim?
Harry's shredded, bro.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
Charlie,
like,
not
I'm
so
sitting here
much.
Yeah. So what do you do?
I want to determine the.
So let's go back to, so when you're looking at for the audience's sake, who's like, I know how to do this. I get it.
We don't.
Right. So, but let's back up.
Uh-huh.
Let's, instead of writing an equation with an infinite number of variables,
Yes.
let's determine what we do and don't know.
Okay,
Yes.
Right?
I will
So-
write these down.
So you should tell me what you know right now.
Okay.
Right.
And then I will basically confirm or deny whether or not your speculations are correct.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Go ahead.
so what we know that
Or what do you have involved in this?
right.
Yeah.
So this is a kind of the top of a pyramid chamber with a obelisk going up through the middle of the room that goes into the ceiling.
Mhm.
We know at each corner there are 4 holes.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I'm
Sure.
ran this out. So there are 4 holes that looks like not big, like what, like a foot in diameter or so.
A creature that is serpentine could fit in this, meaning
Okay, yes.
meaning one of the many mouths.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So bigger. Okay. So entrance in. Okay. We know there are hieroglyphics on at least 3 of the walls, and then there's the big painting on the back wall.
Yes.
Right.
The hieroglyphs constantly reference the light being inside the temple and it being an eye that is reflecting light.
Yes, a reflection of light rather
Yeah.
than an emittance of light.
Yeah.
You also have what?
Flashlights.
Yep.
Person, yes.
Right? And then you guys already dispatched the person guarding this temple,
Yes.
which held a spear.
Spear.
Okay.
So it sounds like we need to do something with the spear.
But what? My brain. This is Quentin talking. my brain is going, why would they use an integral key in activating the lantern to guard the lantern?
Maybe as a
That'd
disguise.
be like using the frame of the Mona Lisa to fight as a security weapon by the guards around the Mona Lisa.
What
They
if
do.
they're fighting vampires?
They do not use the. No, I mean like the.
Using the
like
holding
the
this painting
guards
and being like,
actually
whack.
holding
Sure.
the painting frame
Well,
of the Mona
but here's
Lisa.
here's another question.
You
though.
want to be able to utilize.
Here's another question. Was that creature like that creature didn't leave until that portal opened?
Yeah.
And so what was that portal though? That was an eldritch symbol. Different
Yes.
slightly to the symbol that we're seeing now, which are, as you kind of keep going down, different and sort of more Egyptian as we've gone down.
Uh-huh.
So it could be just a circumstance. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, I'm with you. I don't disagree. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think it's a bad thing, but I will say that it started at the farthest point from this location as possible. Without, who knows what those tubes lead to, right?
Yeah.
And they could probably wind. And so where are you going to go with this spear? Like, you know, does that creature, has it slung magic at you?
No.
No. So, you know,
None of them have.
that's where I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's involved, maybe it's not, but it was at the farthest point possible from its
Yeah.
location. Just do something.
Cut the painting with the spear.
Cut the painting.
Cut the painting with the spear.
I feel like that's a bad idea.
That's the only thing I could think of in there that would like utilize the spear, because there's just hieroglyphs all over the obelisk about reflecting light. There's holes that are for creatures to be able to come in and out potentially.
Oh, wait a second. When you described the spear, you said it had a very broad head,
Yeah.
correct?
Like a shovel, almost.
It had like a spade, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, spade shape, or is it actually also...
It's spade shaped, like it comes
Yeah,
to the top,
okay,
it looks like
okay.
an octopus.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So,
Or squid, I
so,
guess.
Say move.
no, okay, so,
What-
no,
what
okay,
was
sorry.
that? Move what?
Move the painting. What's
No.
behind the painting?
Well, we could
No,
check
here-
that too. Yes.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
This is gonna be me in character.
Okay.
I'm gonna be looking at the spear while you're doing all of the different things to set up.
Yeah.
I would imagine
the
you're all sort
ritual.
of just like, what in the world? I like the idea
Yeah,
that you're all
yeah.
just discussing, like, what do we do? And you just
Right.
start looking at the spear. So.
Right. Yeah. So I'm looking at the spear, looking at the flashlight, and you keep saying reflecting, and I'm looking up at the head, just be like, what are we doing? Looking up at the head.
Yeah.
Knows how broad the head is, and I'm gonna be like, hey guys, let's try this. So, what if we use your flashlights to reflect off of the head of the spear and focus it somewhere? I don't know where it would be good to focus. Maybe in the lighthouse,
Okay.
or maybe somewhere else. This
Okay.
is Ross and Harry speaking.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, we can try that.
Okay.
So you reflect light off of the spear. It does reflect light,
Okay.
and it sort of focuses it. But I'll tell you, so imagine this is it.
Yeah.
You focus the light directly at it, and then it immediately goes towards me. So it sort of has this like spoon-like structure,
Yeah.
but it immediately goes my direction.
Okay.
So like from this, so if you were to hold it this way, it would go this way.
Okay.
Like, or it would go, I guess, towards me again.
So
Like, it goes.
It deflects the light at a 90-degree angle.
And well, yes, it deflects the light at a 90-degree angle. Like if you shine the light right here, Ross, where does it go? It goes that way,
Right towards the
right?
suit of armor.
That's
Okay.
what you discover about this thing.
Okay.
It does not work as you angle it up to the top.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything.
Okay.
But that does, you are made aware that it reflects in a very weird way.
Okay.
Okay.
So we just need to find the right place
Put the spear.
to put the spear. So I'm gonna,
Can we go ahead with Catherine's idea and see if we're able to move the painting?
Yeah, I mean, may as well.
Okay.
We'll see, but I would assume that. So this is a pretty big painting, correct?
Huge, yeah.
Huge.
Okay.
So I get
Well, let's
25
just-
feet to the
yeah,
top,
Well,
and it's
let's,
like
let's just see if we can even like move it away, like
from the wall.
Like
get
slide
our
it
hands
or-
behind the frame of it
Yeah.
at all,
Y-
or
yeah.
if it's bolted on or whatever.
Okay.
So we do that.
you guys pull over toward the side. It's like totally kind of stuck,
Okay.
and like
Okay.
you get your hand like kind of nearby,
Yep.
and just roll to act under pressure. Whoever is like really leading this thing.
I guess it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's plus cool.
Um, 7.
So, do you want to have your hand extend into the painting and trigger something very dangerous, leading you to a possible results that you are looking for? Or do you want to have to act as if you did not learn that and then continue to struggle?
You should do it.
What? Did I say something?
All right.
No, I mean, you do you. Just-
No.
So her hand, as she's kind of like moving and her hand in the painting is very large. Very, very large. But the length of your arm doesn't reach to the light of the lighthouse. It reaches about halfway, if only you had more reach.
Spear.
And immediately as you pull back your hand, water begins to pour in from the painting, beginning to fill this room.
Okay.
Gotcha. Catherine, take your arm out. Take the spear.
And I shove the spear in towards
So you
the
shove
light.
the spear in, roll to act under pressure once more as you see the light begin to reflect into the room as the spear, its massive size, a mirror shining against the sea, but towards now the middle of this room.
Act under pressure
Yeah,
again.
act under pressure again.
11.
11. Wow.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to give you a hard choice, though. You holding... I have to. You...
Yep.
It's just not in a 10
Oh, no, you do
plus.
what you set out to do. My bad.
Oh, yeah, I did it.
No, I see it. It's right there. So you
No.
shine the light in the middle of the room. It hits the obelisk with this light from this lighthouse. And you see kind of the spear's end. The spear at the end kind of... This octopus shape, mind you, begins to disintegrate under this light and disappear and wisp like shadow. And the middle of the obelisk is now, from the bottom to the top, all the sigils, a green light is emitting
Activated.
and is activated and is now shining. You realize this water's to your knees now. And it's continually rising about that pace. And your spear, you have a stick.
Okay.
Okay.
And you are needing to run
Yep.
or swim, depending on how good this goes. So, yeah, I'm saying this is pretty much everyone needs to act under pressure.
Again?
Yeah, run. You run. You run. You run. You run. Unless you plan on not. But basically, this lantern is lit.
Yeah.
Run.
Okay. So,
The reflection
yeah,
lights on this
okay.
lantern, and it sort of emits this green light.
okay. So
And then it holds.
I guess I was assuming.
Yeah.
That with all these lanterns, we would have physical lanterns that we'd be taking back. Is that not what we're doing?
No,
with these
so
lanterns?
fun. The reason that I made the 3 lanterns with Zane's help, the graphic look like that,
Yeah.
as a red herring, as the intention of it supposed to look
You
like green.
SOB.
These are
I hate
bigger
you.
than that. These are lanterns
Nice.
of
I love you. But
greater
I hate
proportion.
you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love
Nice.
you, but I hate you both.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay. So
11
make,
again.
The 3 Lanterns bookstore does have that graphic.
yes.
But-
Yeah.
but this is
the
bigger than
actual
that.
So we are trying to light the lanterns, not get the lanterns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense and
Yep.
really changes. Okay. Anywho.
That's good. This is the
okay,
revelation.
Yes.
Gameplay.
Act under pressure. Plus cool. 8.
8,
11 again.
11.
7.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just say, do you, Catherine, this is sort of like not really, I'm not supposed to give you a hard choice normally, but I'll just say, you can just leave. You can just get out and leave them behind and no big deal, no issues at all. You just run ahead and you're out. You're fast, you're nimble, you're small enough. You see as kind of the water begins to fill behind you, you guys get to the point where it begins to pour fast enough in that, like, unless you completely book it, there's going to be an issue at hand. So you can just be like, you know what? I love these guys. I can't carry them. I got to just go. I mean, you maybe don't love them, but you know what I mean. Like, you just got to go.
Well, yeah. No, I wouldn't do that.
So you're going to linger and be up to the hard choice or outcome or price to pay that I'm going to give them. You would like to willingly subject yourself to such agony and pain, potentially death?
Yeah.
Catherine, run.
Really? No.
Yeah, I would. I
But,
think
like,
she would. I
but
think
in-
naturally.
I will say, I'm not, and that's fine. I think I like it, but I want to put you in a human perspective.
I know.
Life, death, potentially drowning, and all that entails.
I think as Catherine, I think she's already at life or death anyway. I think as a 20-some-year-old,
Sure.
she has to already make hard decisions about her grandma and.
Mentally, yes, she would be life or death. Let's be real about most 20-year-olds.
How
She is
dramatic.
a woman studying psychology in college. She's
In the
clearly right
1920s.
there. I
In the
know.
She's
I
dramatic.
think she'd be, like, you know what? Like, we're here.
Sure. So basically,
Yep.
you're gonna be subjecting yourself to the worst outcome, hard choice, and price to pay.
Correct.
All right.
Or, not and. Don't put and. It's or.
Yeah.
Don't smile like that. Don't do that to us.
All right.
He's trying to kill us, everybody.
Oh, every time. Every time. Okay. You see, as you're kind of moving around, going forward, you guys are running. Catherine's sort of like trying to grab you, but just behind you is like these snake entities and no spears, but they're just like trying to grab at your ankles, making it harder and harder and harder. Here's my hard choice. Would you like to, when you leave this space, have to fight these creatures? There's 2 of them. Or would you like to subject yourself to 5 harm and get away?
Harry would be dead.
I would be dead. I'd be dying as well.
I would be dying.
Yeah. So.
I can only take 4 more.
We're fighting, apparently.
Okay.
With no spear.
Yeah. Well,
So now
Well,
here's
we have the Tommy gun and the
here's
pistol.
the scenario.
In water.
Here's the scenario. I
They've
need
not
you.
been submerged.
I need you to roll to kick some ass. Now, you're gonna basically be firing blind behind you, so I'm gonna give you a -1 forward to this roll.
Yeah, of
But
course.
I already have a -1.
Bummer. So what you're gonna do? You subjected yourself to the greater harm.
I told you to run. I told you to run.
So
Fine, I'm mad
so-
at Catherine. It'll be fine later.
So, but what you're doing is you're firing behind you. What you're doing is basically, if you fail, then we're gonna deal with the implications of that. If you succeed, you will basically hold them off long enough to get out and give Charlie enough of a chance to probably close the portal.
Okay.
Okay.
So just those 2 are rolling the.
No, you're gonna.
Kick
You're,
some ass?
you're,
All of
We're
us.
all
you're going
kicking
to as
ass.
well.
Okay.
But I'm saying if you guys don't succeed, then I'm gonna start taking harm.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, before we do anything, just thinking. So, we pushed the doors open,
Yeah.
and there was the eyes. Were those eyes handles, or were they a part of the door?
Part of the carving.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they weren't sticking out. Okay. Because I'm gonna say, if they were sticking out,
I'm like-
we closed the doors, we put the
Oh, I see
the
what you're
stick.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
no.
Okay.
Bummer.
I wanted to make sure before we did this.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
It's more of like imagine the scene of you're running away, firing, and like,
no.
you know, like that whole thing.
Totally get that. I was just
No.
trying to find a way for us not to die.
Oh, this is a bummer.
You said act under pressure, right? Or kick? No, you said
some ass.
kick some ass.
I have a 5, thanks to the -2.
Yeah, it's a fail.
Duh.
You take 3
Let's
harm.
see. Kick some.
Take
ass.
3 harm?
3 harm.
They don't have spears. You just said that.
I know, but I'm adding them up together. Take 3 harm.
As you said. So 8. No, 9 for us.
9. You inflict harm. Basically, you're going to get away, but you're going to take 1 harm.
Okay,
I mean, it beats your
Yeah,
armor. It's not
yeah.
a 1 harm scenario. It's,
Yeah.
it's you beat your armor and you take 1 more harm.
gotcha.
Right. 7.
7. You
Barely.
take 1 harm. 2 harm. Sorry, 2 harm. And
I am unstable.
I know.
Oh, yeah, I'm
and,
unstable.
and you just become unstable once you pass. Once you get to 4
Threshold.
harm, right?
So
Okay.
here's
Just
what's
wait. So
happening.
in that case, I am also.
As
so-
Catherine is in front of you all,
yeah.
I'm going to give kind of you guys one real chance. Catherine trips hard,
Oh,
slams down.
Oof.
Well, you rolled a fail,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you slam hard. Now, which one of you is going to try to grab her and dive out the door?
So I assume that
It's not really like a. She doesn't like hit her face,
Yeah.
but she trips hard and she like lands on her elbows and arms
Yeah.
and sort of is like halfway between getting up, but it's faster and you're gonna have to just grab her and dive.
right. So so I assume that Charlie is in front of me. I assume that I was the last.
This would be a protect someone roll
Right.
or a act under pressure roll, depending on how you want to flavor it.
Let's see. Active.
Would these? would this-
I will put. So I assume that Charlie was probably in the center and I was in the back of the group. Just
Sure.
because of that. So, and if Catherine is right in front of us, Charlie may not have time.
Well, real quick.
Yeah.
Is this act under pressure due to feelings of fear?
Not really. It's more of just like an act under pressure due to like running from the creature and also like the flooding water. Like,
Would it be like
Kind
fear
of
of
fear.
death?
here's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Roll a d6. If it's a 5 or 6, you do not get it.
Dang it.
it's a bummer.
Okay.
Those are decent odds. Those are
yeah,
decent
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's fair. So, what? So I assume Catherine's in front, then Charlie, then me.
Yeah. What do you do? Hurry up.
Yeah. So I'm going to protect someone. Catherine tripped and fell.
Yep.
Charlie
I'm still
somehow,
moving, so-
yeah, is still moving. Goes
Charlie, Charlie, roll to use magic. You rolled to
protect someone.
protect someone. And Catherine, you're at the whim of his protect someone.
9
Oh, son
on
of a-
magic.
Wow.
Um,
What's your glitch? And what are you trying to do? Just trying to close the portal, right?
Yep, gonna close the portal,
Yep.
and my glitch. I'm gonna take harm.
Okay, take 1 harm. Boom. It hurts him to do it. He
Yeah.
reaches into a deep, dark place in the Eldritch Horror, and he just takes the harm as he uses the shadow to close the shadow.
6.
What?
6 to protect.
6 to protect someone?
Yeah,
Fail.
which is a fail.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. Do you want to save Catherine?
Of course.
Okay, Catherine, he grabs you, he picks you up. One of them grabs his leg, and then he like sort of pulls, and then the other one grabs his leg, and he just throws you out. And Charlie says, "Haramas!" And the portal closes with Harry on the other side. And we'll see you next time.
What?
Thank you so much for joining us in this very climactic episode of Whispers of Old Harbor, and we'll see you next time on Roll to One. Like and subscribe.